A huge 2-0 win against City in the Premier League last night to extend our lead at the top of the table. A mild bump in the road leading up to the game has almost been forgotten about as the Reds edge closer to securing their 20th title. But today we have some huge news involving Alisson Becker, which we will dive into in today's video. We will also go over all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. Finally, we will also present out 5 biggest takeaways from our huge victory at the Etihad last night. There is so much to discuss in today's video. So as always, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. But first, Liverpool have 11 games left to play in the Premier League this season, and they will host 7 of them at Anfield, which includes a visit from Arsenal in May. With 71% of the season now behind Arne Slot's side, they have 11 matches left to navigate in their bid to lift the Premier League title in May. Arsenal remain their closest rivals, but even they are 11 points behind, having played a game less, with over 2/3 of the campaign done and dusted. There will be plenty of fixture comparisons in the weeks to come as many attempt to identify where Slot's side may stumble, but what they will find is that Anfield has a big role to play. In fact, of Liverpool's remaining 11 league matches this season, a total of 7 will be played at Anfield, leaving only 4 away matches from now until the end of May. The average position in the table for the remaining matches at Anfield is 12th, while the away contingent has an average of 11th. In the reverse fixtures, Liverpool clinched 25 points. Slot's side have the best home and away record to date, and it is not out of the realm of possibility that the title will have been confirmed ahead of the Gunners' visit to Anfield in May. Mikel Arteta's side, for comparison, have 6 away and 6 home matches remaining on their schedule. The average current position for their visitors is 9th, while it is 12th for their hosts on the road. Anfield will therefore have a huge role to play in the upcoming weeks for Slot, who know the job is far from complete. Speaking to Sky Sports after the 2-0 win at Manchester City, Slot said, "A week ago we experienced how difficult Wolves at home was. 11 games to go and they will all be difficult like the one today. It is probably also easier for us not to get excited because we know what we have to put in. This result was more about defense than it was about attack. It is normal for a fan base from a team that is leading the league to be positive, and it is up to us to understand why we are where we are, and these boys know." Now, in some massive Alisson Becker news, Arne Slot has not confirmed Alisson will be number 1 for Liverpool next season, ahead of the arrival of Jurgen Mamardashvili, simply divulging that we will see. Alisson is into his 7th season as Liverpool's first-choice goalkeeper, but for the first time his position as number 1 is coming into question. Not due to the Brazilian's form, more so a combination of factors headlined by the summer purchase of Georgian stopper Mamardashvili from Valencia. Mamardashvili stayed at Valencia for the current campaign and has endured mixed fortunes, but he is set to join the Liverpool squad in the summer and, depending on who you believe, could even take over as first choice. Slot may have fueled that theory when asked about his plans for the goalkeeping position next season, giving no assurances to Alisson. What next season will bring, we will see, he told reporters. We've bought a goalkeeper and sent him on loan, and next season we will have Alisson, Choimin, Jaros and Mamardashvili. 4 very good keepers. They will be under contract, and we will see how it works out. There could be a number of takeaways from Slot's comments, including a suggestion that current third choice Vítězslav Jaros could stay despite claims his contract is due to expire in the summer. When it comes to Alisson, Mamardashvili and Choimin Kelleher, the expectation is that the latter will depart the club in pursuit of a regular starting role. That could leave Alisson and his new teammate to fight for the number 1 spot with Jaros in reserve, though an immediate switch to Mamardashvili as starter is unlikely to be popular among fans. One deciding factor could, however, be any further transfer interest in Alisson himself, with the 32-year-old having turned down overtures from Saudi Arabia in the summer as he set his sights on fulfilling his contract at Liverpool. "Did you speak with Alisson about Saudi interest?" Slot said when asked about rumours over his future. "I didn't know there was interest. Maybe he said he only wanted to stay." In this part of the video, we will go over our 5 biggest takeaways from our 2-0 win over Manchester City on Sunday. Liverpool entered what has been a mausoleum of misery over the years to take on an old foe very much out of sorts, emerging with a comfortable 2-0 win at Man City. Number 1. Give the set-piece coach a raise. Don't blink twice, Liverpool scored from a set-piece. Heading into this nerve-fraught encounter, the Reds were joint lowest alongside Fulham for set pieces scored this season with 3, and it's now clearly apparent that this had signalled alarm bells behind the scenes. Considering title rivals Arsenal have built large parts of their season on set-piece goals, something had to change for Liverpool, and change it did. Mohamed Salah's opener, with the kind flick of deflection, was a thing of beauty. Everything about it, the drilled pass of Alexis McAllister, the calculated blocking of Phil Foden by Andy Robertson, the gorgeous, deft pass of Dominic Szoboszlai, and the finding of space from Salah. Pure art. It felt very un-Liverpool. Set-piece goals have always been an option for the Reds, especially with the fearsome presence of Van Dijk and Konate in the mix, but for some reason nothing outside of the box seems to happen. But here we saw something very different and very pure. A passage of play befitting of champions-elect. Give the set-piece coach a raise. More of that, please. Number 2, Trent needs to adapt. Whether it's for Liverpool or Real Madrid, Trent Alexander-Arnold needs to have a frank conversation with himself and bring an end to this glass-half-full outlook on his game. For too long now, it's been a case of elite-level opposition being able to target Trent because of his forward play and one-on-one vulnerabilities, but this can't cut the mustard anymore. Sure, when fully flying, Trent does what most players can only dream of doing, but City set out with a vaguely sketched game plan here, and atop of it read, Jeremy Doku to get at and behind Trent. It worked time and time again, either on the run behind with the injection of pure pace or the dropping of the shoulder to jink inside. So predictable you could set your watch by it. The level of footballer Trent is, this shouldn't be a thing. He's now entering his prime years, and to find yourself highlighted as a potential weak link because of a part of your play must be highly embarrassing. Did any manager ever glance at an opposition team sheet and look to pinpoint the likes of Cafu, Roberto Carlos, Dani Alves, or Ashley Cole in this way? They were all world-class fullbacks, and each operated slightly differently. Time to start getting honest, Trent. Number 3, Slot is a tactical marvel. If we're thinking about this in plain terms, whichever manager replaced Jurgen Klopp would have probably been relishing the first matches with City. This hypothetical person would have been expecting to go up against Pep Guardiola's Titans with their very slick, functional and predictable game plan, which has won title after title for years. A style which, while easy to admire, is also easy to study and tune into. They would also be expecting to enter the match with a desire to compete well, but roundly be accepted as underdogs. And so, Arne Slot was afforded absolutely none of this. Instead, he entered the match as league leader, an overwhelming favourite to snatch the title, against a City side which couldn't look more unfamiliar and had just plundered 200 million plus in January. For all intents and purpose, City were a wounded animal, reactionary, and highly unpredictable. That's a pretty grim opposition to face, especially when winning momentum needs to be upheld. You can't set up to face the City you're familiar with, nor can you set up to attempt to blitz an out-of-form opponent. Far too much quality exists within the City ranks to punish constant punch-drunk attacks, especially at the Etihad. So, what unfolded is an ultimate compliment to Slot. Liverpool switched and shifted, sliding from one playing style to another before reshuffling the deck and going again. Slot conducted as his orchestra out on the pitch played in full voice and exposed City in the same manner as others in recent weeks, pressing the boot to the throat in their own backyard.
Number 4. The Endo card is the way forward. Wataru Endo is James Milner reincarnate. Professional, passionate and powered by an energy source which I don't really have the words to describe. In midweek, Slot praised Endo and his ability to remain razor sharp and focused whenever called upon, regardless of whatever level of rust has been built up. And here, in arguably the toughest away ground of them all, the Japanese battle axe provided the perfect tonic once more when brought into the fray. Liverpool got their goals, worked out the rhythm, and they brought on a warrior with a never say die attitude. It's perfect when backs are against the wall and loose balls need to be won. The stats will show that City played out large swaths in the Liverpool half in the second period, but the presence of Endo allowed this to happen. The Reds did not have to be frantic, but simply measured and willing to plug all the gaps immediately as they appear. What goes largely underrated is Endo's footwork and spatial awareness. He doesn't break up play and hoof it away, but holds up the ball with an underestimated amount of strength before carving out a slice of space and locating a short pass. It's a godsend, and something Slot and his coaching staff will undoubtedly look to utilise much more as the run-in gathers pace. Number 5. Salah is the king of kings. What does a king become when he ascends during his own lifetime? A living god? I don't even know, but whatever it is, Salah is that. The Egyptian king is entering uncharted territory. He has done this year upon year, but now it feels beyond ridiculous. He'll be 33 in June, yet Salah is putting up numbers which are set to surpass that halcyon, hysteria-fueled debut season in a red shirt. As the minutes ticked by, more records were torn up. The big games appear, and so does Salah. It's a quality that simply cannot be bought in football. World-class players can blow hot and cold when the spotlight is switched on, but not Liverpool's number 11. It's poetry in motion, it's greatness in real time, and it's a player hell-bent on becoming a Premier League champion once again. John Henry must be nervously eyeing his savings account. It's going to be needed to be dipped into soon. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.